Hi, BookTube. It's Gina. Happy Monday. Hope you're doing well. I had a little bit of a rough weekend this weekend, so I thought I would hop on here and do an October update, talk about Victober, what I've been reading, and some fun news. And also just why I had a rough weekend. We had to put my beloved friend Cat JJ down this weekend. He's been sick with pancreatitis and has been losing weight the last month or so pretty quickly and was declining. And we took him in. He had a large tumor that grew very rapidly since his last ultrasound just a few months ago. And so we've been dealing with that loss and just kind of struggling through. He was 15 or 16 years old. We got him as a stray, and we've had him since 2009. So he's been a big part of our lives. So it was a tough weekend. I spent most of the weekend in my jammies, just kind of trying to take care of myself and doing some reading, watching some TV. But now I'm trying to get back and talk about books, because this always cheers me up. And the fun thing is, you guys, I woke up this morning to 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. Yay! Which was very exciting, a lot of fun, a really fun way to start out my Monday, especially after having such a crummy weekend. So thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed and supported my channel. It's been such a fun experience, a fun journey, and I'm just getting a kick out of every moment of it so far. I got a really fun comment from a new subscriber, Denise, who I want to mention because Denise was my 1,000th subscriber, and she's got a channel too, which I will link down below, called This Is My Everybody. And if you like my channel, I think you will really like Denise. She's cute. She's got round glasses. I feel like she and I may be kindred spirits. So check out her channel. As you know, numbers of subscribers tends to go up and tends to go down. So there's a good chance that I may have another 1,000th subscriber, because, it'll probably dip down below and then dip back up again. I guess that's sort of what seems to happen. You gain a few, you lose a few. That's kind of the fun of YouTube. So that was, a really nice treat to wake up to this morning, after being a little out of it this weekend and just not paying attention to stuff. So thanks again to everybody who has been leaving wonderful comments, and it's been so much fun. So thanks to everyone for being here. Maybe I'll do a Q&A or something. I'm not sure. I'd like to do a little something to celebrate 1,000 subscribers, but we'll kind of see how that goes. I'm not sure. So let's talk about Victober, because Victober is our fun celebration of Victorian literature in October. And so far I've been off to a pretty good reading start this sort of first 10 days in October. I finished my first book, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. What a wonderful book. I think everybody in the entire world knows about Jekyll and Hyde, but I hadn't read this book before, and the way it's told is really different from what I was expecting, because it's told from a narrator who is a friend of Dr. Jekyll and his lawyer and close associate and friend. And he's telling this story. And what I was thinking about the whole time I was reading this book was how, I'm getting goosebumps even thinking about it, how chilling, what a wonderful twist this would have been back in the day when it was originally written. Because of course we all know what the twist is now, but can you imagine reading this early on, not knowing what the twist was and just having that hit you at the end, it was fantastic. And such an interesting look at the good and the evil that inhabits each person. Their kind of dueling perspectives, they're dueling good and evil. It was fantastic. So really big thumbs up for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And then I also read just the very first story in Elizabeth Gaskell's Gothic Tales. This is the group read for Victober. And all right, the first tale in this book was Disappearances. And I didn't love this one. I'm going to read you just the last sentence. I don't think it's a spoiler, but you might want to just plug your ears for about 4 seconds. This is a funny sentence, but it's all about sort of, disappearances, people disappearing. The very last sentence, though, is, once more, let me say, I am thankful I live in the days of the detective police. If I am murdered or commit bigamy, at any rate, my friends will have the comfort of knowing all about it, which is a very cynical and I thought rather funny view of what I'm thinking is probably the early days of the detective police. So I'm going to continue on with some of the stories. I probably won't finish this whole book because I realize also I'm just not a big short story person. They just don't grab me. I like to dig into a larger book. So possibly that one will kind of go, I'll dip in and out of it. Working on Bleak House by Charles Dickens with a group on Voxer, and we've chunked this up into some sections, and I'm actually reading this on my Kindle, but right now I'm on page 245 of this edition and just loving this. It's got a couple different perspectives, and one of them I'm enjoying much more than the other, but I'm really starting to get into the tale at this point. So really, really fun read. I'm really enjoying this, and I'm definitely on track to finish this by the end of the month. And then I also read the Romance of a Shop by Amy Levy. I'm looking at my trusted little notebook here, if you see me glancing down. The Romance of a Shop was a recommendation from Katie at Books and Things, and I loved this story. It started out a little slow, about 4 sisters who their father has died and left them in reduced circumstances. And I have to tell you, I love the trope of ladies living in reduced circumstances. I don't know why. I think that's so much fun. It sounds a little bit weird to say, but I do love that. I love that trope. And so this was 4 sisters. It had little hints of Little Women to me, although the sisters were older. They were all, I think the youngest was 17, so they were not small girls. But they decided to start a photography business. And the 4 girls do their photography business. They find friends, they start to build a life, and I really, really enjoyed it. It took a little bit of a darker turn that I was expecting at the end, and it also was clearly, it's interesting because it felt very modern in some ways with the girls trying to build their business. It took a pretty traditional sort of turn at the end with the girls kind of finding relationships, which of course is fine and was wonderful. Very good stories. So definitely a thumbs up for The Romance of a Shop. And then I also finished it's a new novel, but it was set in the Victorian age, and it's called The Secrets of Wishtide by Kate Saunders. And this is a series set in Victorian England, kind of a cozy mystery series with the heroine named Letitia Rodd. And this was a recommendation I saw on Miranda Mills' channel, another wonderful channel who's got tons of cozy recommendations. I'll leave her channel linked below as well. And this was a really fun, pretty standard mystery read. I liked Letitia. Oh, she was another lady in reduced circumstances who moved in to a house with a person who becomes a friend of hers, and they solve mysteries together. And it was wonderful. It didn't feel very Victorian, I have to say, maybe because I've been reading a lot of actual Victorian literature. I could very easily have just thought this was set in 1940s or 50s. I mean, it was pretty generic as to the Victorian kind of ephemera in it, but wonderful. And I mean, there were some, you could tell she threw in some Victorian pieces, but that was not the strongest piece of the book, but it was wonderful and I loved it. And I will definitely continue on with that mystery series. Lastly, this is not really, so those are the books that I've finished. I'm working on Bleak House, so I'm kind of trying to decide what I want to start in on next. And my next read was going to be Wuthering Heights, but I've been feeling, because I've been feeling a little out of sorts and sad, I'm kind of thinking I might swap out Wuthering Heights for The Way We Live Now by Anthony Trollope, because I love Trollope. I know I will love that book, and I have a feeling it might be a little less dark than Wuthering Heights. I'm not sure about that. I'm gonna just play that by ear and see how it goes. But one thing that I am definitely going to read, and I don't think this is necessarily, I'm not sure if it's Victorian, because Henry James was American and English, I think. So anyway, it's the right time frame, but I'm going to read The Turn of the Screw. And you can't really tell here, but what I have done is I have tabbed out this book by the original installments that it was released in when it was originally written. And I saw this idea on Benjamin McAvoy's channel. I'll link his video down below because it was absolutely fantastic. He was talking about how much fun it is to actually read this book in the installments in which it was originally released and leave a week in between so you can feel that slow build of the story. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to read this book. I'm going to read it in the 12 installments so that I can feel that sort of tension build, waiting to see what's going to happen next. And it's going to take a while to read it, and it's a very short little book. But sort of with Jekyll and Hyde, where I feel like the twist in that was so much fun. I have a feeling that reading this in the way that it was actually released and published will also be really, really fun. So you guys, if you have not checked out Benjamin McAvoy's channel, check it out. It's fantastic. He loves Everyman Library. He loves modern library. He reads a lot of Shakespeare and classics, and he's got really interesting ideas and really great videos. So definitely check him out. And if anybody else is interested in reading The Turn of the Screw, I'm going to read it in installments. I'm going to start this weekend and read the first one and just go for 12 weeks. So hopefully I can stick to it, because I have a feeling I'm going to be wanting to cruise through this one really, really quickly since it's so short. But I think that'll be a really fun way to read that book. So that is it for my first Victober check-in. I hope that you are doing well, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks.